You must be here about my summons. Good, good. I was just telling Lord Gareshri and Chimera that someone would answer my call. Since you're here, I presume you will wholeheartedly agree to help us save Elsweyr from a rage of dragons? So much better than flock or herd, don't you think? The Khajiit Defense Force isn't prepared to deal with a threat as big as dragons, especially since they were fighting to liberate Rimmon when the huge beasts arrived. Stay focused. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we must assist the Defense Force. Rendezvous with us at their command post. On your way, however, I have another task for you. I detected a series of power surges that I want you to investigate. I was formulating a spell to track the dragons when I noticed several surges of arcane energy not far from here. They reminded me of an old acquaintance. Has a way with portals. If it is him, I want you to secure his help against the dragons. Hard to say with certainty, but I don't believe so. They remind me of Sir Cadwell, who somehow opens portals with a power of similar intensity. Check the locations I marked on your map before you make your way to the defense camp. Never heard of Cadwell? Don't tell him that. Cadwell may be the oldest soul-shriven in Cold Harbor. For all his eccentricities, he's certainly the most sane. Fancies himself a knight of old. If you find him, secure his help against the dragons. What do they teach young people these days? You've never heard of the great Abner Tharn, advisor to emperors and battle mage supreme? No? Well, take my word for it. I'm a very important personage. You should feel honored to meet me. Lord Gareshri is the Speaker of the Main and the commander of the Northern Elsweyr Defense Force. His aide, Chimera, serves as both a diplomat and a spy, though she would never call herself that. If you want to know more, feel free to ask them. My half-sister, Euryxia, conquered Rimmon and other parts of northern Elsweyr about 6 years ago. The Khajiit Defense Force has slowly been taking back their province, but Rimmon is well fortified. And now, because of the dragons, things are worse. A militia drawn from the prides of northern Elsweyr. Gareshri, the Speaker of the Main, has taken command during this crisis. With Dominion troops busy fighting the Three Banners War, the Defense Force must deal with the Euryxians and the dragons.
Another outsider comes to Elsweyr, as if we did not have enough problems between Abner Tarn and the dragons. Ah, do not mind me. Great beasts rampaging through my homeland tends to put me in a foul mood. I am Chimera. I assist the Speaker of the Main and serve as his agent. With both the usurper queen and the dragons ravaging northern Elsweyr, there is much for me to do. Too much, I fear. But I will persevere. What can I tell you that you cannot guess? That these fearsome creatures of legend have returned to threaten Elsweyr? That much is obvious. Damn it. This is all Abner Tharn's fault. Dark Moons, take him! That arrogant Imperial! For an advisor to emperors and a renowned battle mage, he demonstrates a disturbing lack of caution. It was Abner Tarn who entered the halls of Colossus and released the dragons. He says that was not his intention, but... What do my beliefs matter? Dragons have come to Elsweyr, destroying everything I hold dear. As the Moon Singers say, the path to oblivion is paved in good intentions. So, damn Abner Tharn. Damn him for unleashing this terror upon us.
You're responding to Abnur Tharn's letter, one of the promising adventurers. I hope you can help us. But where are my manners? Welcome to Riverhold and the province of Northern Elsweyr, also known as Anequina. I am the Speaker of the Main, a position in which I've served faithfully for many years. I represent our spiritual leader, the Main. In addition, I command the Northern Elsweyr Defense Force during this time of trouble. We're dealing with more than just dragons, unfortunately. A few years ago, Abnur Tharn's half-sister Euraxia conquered Rimen and parts of northern Elsweyr. We recently liberated Riverhold and were about to do the same for Rimen when the dragons appeared. It's almost as if they came to her aid. Do what Abnur Tharn asked. Just as he once served as advisor to emperors, he has agreed to help me formulate strategies and tactics for use against the dragons. It is the least he can do, since he had a hand in setting the horrid beasts loose.
I'll be at this until I drop. Seem to be making much progress. This is taking forever.
No, Azazi. Never touch a Daedric monster, especially a dead one.
Don't be such a nervous netch. The dead can't hurt us. But where do you think it came from?
It stinks of Cold Harbor. Perhaps one of the Usurper Queen's lackeys summoned it, yes? What a stench! That's the stink of Cold Harbor, Walker. How such a fearsome and dangerous creature ended up dead beneath our favorite rocky outcropping, this one does not wish to speculate. Only an extremely powerful mage could summon such a monster.
Don't touch the dead thing, Theduna tells me. Like I don't know how to handle a Daedric corpse. I wonder what killed it, though. Maybe it ran afoul of a dragon.
I saw you, traveler. Why do all outsiders insist on acting suspiciously? I watched you go from location to location, just like the man with the pot on his head. Are you one of the soldiers intent on digging up every plot of land? Or are you simply a deviant who enjoys skulking and slinking through the wilderness? Oh, do not play innocent with me, stranger. You must be working with that pale, gaunt fool with the ridiculous mustache. Why else would you be visiting the same places that he did? Unless... Are you an agent of the Usurper Queen? Euraxia, the hated Imperial who conquered Rimmon and falsely claimed to be its queen. Do not feign ignorance, outsider. I had just about enough of that when I talked to the man with the pot on his head. You sound as confused as he was. Kept talking to his pet lizard bird like he expected it to answer. The last I saw, he headed east. I suppose you'll find him in that direction, and south of Riverhold. Just stop skulking around.
Uncanny. It looks just like the lovely place I dreamed of. Must be why my portals led me here. Eventually. Hello. Have you come to pay your respects to this poor fellow, too? It was the strangest thing. I was looking at this very gravestone in a dream. So here I came, and there it is, all solid and everything. Important? I have no idea. I suppose it must be. I saw it in a dream, after all. Or was it a vision? I get those two confused. Anyway, I felt a sort of pull and stepped through a door, and then pish-posh, on as a bantam gua, and here I am. Tharn, you say, the grumpy battle mage. How is the old boy? The surges were probably just me. My portal took a few tries before we honed in on this exact location. Now, why don't you take a look at the gravestone and see what you make of it? Well, it took a few tries to find the exact spot I saw in my dream. A number of frightfully rude lads and lasses occupied the first location I visited, demanded my surrender, if you can imagine such a thing. Naturally, I gave them the old heave-ho. Foul smelling, I'll have you know, that was my lunch. Can't believe I lost it. And if by Bantam Gua you mean my faithful steed, Honor, well, he's always getting into my foodstuffs. Has the appetite of a mammoth and the cunning of a fox, that one. Dispatch? Why would I do such a terrible thing? I adore those adorable pudge buckets. Alas, Grook was standing a little too close when I opened my portal. Poor thing fell in and took a nasty spill. When the neck bone snaps, it makes an awful sound. Were the words the same for you? Sometimes written language likes to confuse me. Words change and switch places. Very annoying. Anyway, the gravestone mentions the betrayer. Sounds like a dastardly chap. Wonder if I ever met him. I don't have the slightest idea. The words inscribed upon it conjure up all kinds of questions, though. Who is this betrayer? Whom did he betray? Why did they bury only his head? And where did they put the rest of the poor fellow? I don't have a clue. Dragons? I haven't battled a dragon since... You know, I can't remember, but I'm certain I fought one or two in my day. I was a gallant knight, after all. Of course I'll help. I'll just need to do a little more digging into this dream thing first. Didn't we go over this? I'm a chivalrous knight. Oh, you mean the pale and dashing complexion? Well, I'm a soul shriven, a denizen of lovely Cold Harbor. I'm the oldest of my kind and a sort of role model, at least for those who haven't gone feral. It's called a helmet, I'll have you know, the proper headgear for a daring knight, not at all as pedestrian as the foppery you're adorned with. Sorry, old chap, your attire is perfectly adequate. Suits you to a tittle, really does.
Get down. I'll deal with this. Oh, now you show up. Left me to deal with a dragon all by myself. It's a good thing I'm Abner Tharn and not, well, some lesser mage. I discouraged it, but not before it laid waste to most of the camp. We arrived to find the outpost being overrun by undead. Then the dragon attacked. I did what I could. I fear it wasn't enough. What about the power surges? Did you learn anything? The betrayer. There's a betrayer mentioned in the legends of Kunzari. It seems those stories continue to harm me. No matter. We can deal with that later. Right now, I want to know about Cadwell. Has he agreed to lend us his support? That doesn't surprise me. Cadwell and Strange go together like hot bread and butter. I need to recover my strength. Driving off that dragon took a lot out of me. Why don't you go help Chimera while I keep watch in case the great beast returns? Kunzari, hero of the Merethic era. Most of the legends are unbelievable, though the Khajiiti moon singers guard the secret history. Their tales led me to the halls of Colossus. But let's save this for a less dangerous time. Tell me about Cadwell.
Damn us for arriving too late. I did not expect to find our militia under assault by a horde of undead. And then the dragon. Oh, it tangles the tail, Walker, it truly does. The militia was already depleted from the fight to liberate Riverhold, but we were determined to press on toward Riemann. Between the undead and the dragon, though, we can barely hold this portion of the outpost. Retreat is not an option. Not yet. Our resistance to Euraxia's rule requires more than just soldiers. There are intelligence reports, safe house locations, lists of supporters. Document we cannot afford to lose. Search the ruined camp and locate the documents, Walker. They are vital to our efforts to free Rimond from Euraxia's rule. And if her forces acquire them, those who help us will be exposed. Recover the documents from mail sacks in the camp and get them to Captain Nalado. Then meet us to the south.
If you're so fascinated by the dead, why don't you join them? This one doesn't know you, but at least you aren't a walking corpse. This one must ask, why are you here? Bright moons! This one thought these were lost forever. You saved many lives at great risk to your own walker. You have Nalado's respect. This one will guard these documents with her life. That was one of Euryxia, the usurper queen's pet necromancer. His undead devastated our troops, so this one took pleasure in ending his existence. Now, Nalado must return to Riverhold and consult with Garashwi. We must find a way to go on. Euryxia's chief necromancer, Zumag Fum, has been with her for some time, but our intelligence suggests his followers have only recently rallied to her side. Find Abnortharn and Carmira. Tell them to meet us in Riverhold.
I've spotted dragons circling in the distance from time to time, but it doesn't look like the winged monster that attacked the camp will return today. Was your hunt successful? Did you recover the documents that Chimera sought? I must join them there. The Khajiiti forces have been decimated by this attack. It will take every strategy I can devise to help Garesh-Ri prevent the collapse of his militia. The appearance of so many undead, though, that concerns me. Yes, I read the reports. Zumog Foom and his necromancers working for my despicable half-sister. Such magic leaves behind a miasma of stench and decay. It leads to the mountains to the west, but I can't pinpoint an exact location. Good idea. Dragons are bad enough, but undead tend to go on without end. Better to deal with them now, before Euryxia's power becomes more than we can contain. In such a direct manner? Yes, as far as we know. It could have been coincidence, but the attack felt designed to hit us when it would do the most damage. I wanted to send Chimera with you to find the source, but I have no idea where she's gone. Find the source of this army of undead, and if you see Chimera, send her back to Riverhold. She's as reckless as she is capable, which is a dangerous combination. I'll make my way back as well. After all, Garesh-Ri would be lost without me. In case you haven't noticed, we two don't always see eye to eye. She can be impetuous and obstinate, truth be told. Chimera gathered a handful of soldiers and took off to the west. If you run into her, send her back to Riverhold.
This is taking longer than I'd planned.
Oi, Wanderer, you have some time?
don't have time for fools.
I did not expect to see you in this desolate place, Walker. Did Captain Nalado send you? Or have you come to join us as we hunt the dragon that killed so many of our warriors? Then our missions coincide. We can work together to destroy the undead and slay the dragon. It will be glorious. When we finish with the hunting and the slaying, we can report our success to Lord Gareshri. I do not take orders from that old battle mage. Besides, the blood of Khajiiti warriors cries for vengeance. To disregard that cry, that is not a shame I can bear. No, I must do this. I must strike back and show my people that hope survives. The worthy life is full of risk, Walker. I assumed you knew that, given what you do. I will tell you a secret, though. Before my parents died, they gave me a pendant. As long as I wear it, Jode watches over me and provides his protection. To Jode, yes, but also to my family and heritage. I suppose you could call it an heirloom. It helps me in my role as agent for Lord Gareshri, and that is all I will say about it. Now, let us go inside and find the necromancer and the dragon. With me! Stay close. We will hunt these necromancers down and end this dragon. The path splits here. We will go right. Walker, you stay left. Moons guide us.
The cold touch of lingering death!
Foul creatures! Cut them down! For Elsweyr! For the main! Awaits Five Claw! Destroy the Necromancer!
No more excuses. No more delays. Double your output. Your reanimated body will march at the head of Euraxia's
Flesh
forces.
from your bones! Taste your bones!
You dare challenge Mulamnir?
Dragonfire, move!
Mulamnir would talk to you. Look upon Mulamnir in despair, morsel. You have no chance against me, no chance at all. But Mulamnir can be merciful. Come, let us talk. Mulamnir wants you to understand the challenge before you. Our puppet, Euraxia, commands a legion of soldiers, an army of necromancers, and a horde of undead. Add my dragon brothers, and the hopelessness of your cause becomes obvious. You and Abnathon are insignificant, but even an infinitesimal flea can irritate after it crawls beneath the scales. I offer you one last chance to survive. If you and the battle mage leave Elsweyr, my brothers and I will not hunt you down. Then you will die. But not before we slaughter your friends and set fire to Elsweyr. Once we reduce this land to so much ash, only then will I tear you apart. So promises Mulamnir, whose claws have dealt 1,000 deaths. Leave Elsweyr, little morsel. Tell the battle mage, if I see you again, you will die.
Fiveclaw, are you all right? I heard what the dragon said. Perhaps my confidence was a bit misplaced. That creature was much bigger than it appeared when it flew over the camp. I never jump without first knowing where my feet will land. Also, I have very sharp claws. We lost so many today. The dragon, that Mulamnir, it has much to answer for. We defeated the necromancer and shut down one of their undead foundries. We need you and Tarn, despite my dislike of the man. But what the dragon intimated about Euraxia, it called her its puppet. I fear the dragons control the Rimmen throne now. Yes, you must do that. I will join you after I take care of the remains of my soldiers. They died bravely and deserve to receive the proper sacraments. Go to Riverhold. I will see you there.
I've learned. Say what... I've been nothing. Come on! Say what you... Come on! I've learned. I've been nothing. I've learned...
Shore's bones. Rigert knew he should have brought more mead.
Ah, there you are. Spare a moment for a chit-chat? If we've had this conversation already, then I wanted to thank you for the useful advice. But if I haven't seen you since our talk at that mysterious gravestone, which seems much more likely, then I could really use your help. Did I mention the dreams? Visions, really? They come and go without warning, like seeing through someone else's eyes. Quite disconcerting in an interesting sort of way. Anyway, my trusty shovel and I, we searched that entire grave, and it was gone. The betrayer's head, the dreams, the visions, they drew me there, but someone got to it before I did. I have the strangest sensation in the pit of my tummy. It could be the cobweb porridge I had for breakfast, or something bad is about to happen. Well, that's sort of like leaping from the cliffs of failure without a rope, or at least without tying the end off first. I can't tell you how many times I've made that mistake. Oh, Abner wants to see you. He's in the town hall with the cat general.
At this point, we need to come up with a plan that takes into account Euraxians, necromancers, and dragons. I proposed a few options, but Goreshri wasn't sold on any of them. Tell me, what of Chimera and the source of the undead? You paint a troubling picture, my friend. Still, we need to celebrate every victory we achieve. I fear such triumphs will be few and far between. Do you have anything else to report? My half-sister likes to think that she's in charge. She won't take kindly to being called a puppet. As for leaving Elsweyr, I think not. Obviously, this Mulamnir fears us. Otherwise, the dragon wouldn't have deigned to talk to you. Every conversation I have with Cadwell makes my head throb, but one mystery at a time, if you please. Now, if only I could get my half-sister to listen to reason and see that the dragons are using her. A parley? I may not like her, but we are family. Besides, it would give the Khajiit time to regroup. You're beginning to think like a Tharn, my friend. Here, take this. Goreshri gave it to me, but I refuse to accept payment for my services. A parley with Euraxia is a capital idea. I'll send word to Rimmon to expect us. I imagine my half-sister will treat my station and agree to the meeting. Attend to any other matters if you must, then see me when you're ready to leave. It just so happens I already have one. It involves distracting my half-sister with wit, charm, and words she barely comprehends. Oh, and you. Euraxia never could resist a pretty face. You'll pretend to be my bodyguard and personal valet. Consider it obfuscation to hide your true purpose. We don't want to give Euraxia a reason to react poorly to overtures of reconciliation. Not that I expect to reach an accord, but still. Meet me in Rimmon and we'll enter the palace together. Go on, go on. I'm capable of traveling to Rimmon on my own. We'll meet up at the city gates and go to the palace from there. I'm relatively certain Euraxia will honor the parley, but be prepared for anything. She's still a Tharn, after all. We're not very close, in case I haven't made that abundantly clear. Euraxia is an accomplished mage in her own right. My younger sibling has always been ambitious, but I didn't realize the extent of her aspirations until the Frostfall coup. About 6 years ago or so, while Emperor Varen was busy with his rebellion, Euraxia took advantage of the confusion to lead a column of Nibonese mercenaries into northern Elsweyr. She declared herself Queen of Rimmon and its adjacent fiefs. Of course not. The Khajiit called her the Usurper Queen, remember? Once Varen became Emperor, he had other problems to worry about. Same with Queen Irene. As long as the Alliance War occupies her forces, the Khajiit are on their own out here.
parley with the usurper queen. I doubt she'll agree to any sort of diplomatic solution. But it will buy us time to replenish our resources. Very well. Take Tharn and meet with Eurexia. In the meantime, we will rebuild what remains of the militia. She marched into Anequina with a mercenary army and conquered Rimen. Her forces killed the royal family, and she illegally proclaimed herself queen. That makes her a usurper. I pray I live to see her pay for her crimes.
This one hates the idea of talking to the usurper queen. We should be stabbing her in the neck. Still, Nalado sees the necessity, even if she doesn't like it. Euraxia will almost certainly betray you, so be careful when you face her, yes? By marching into Elsweyr with a mercenary army and slaughtering our rightful Khajiit rulers, not only did the usurper slay our king and queen, she murdered the rest of the royal family. Her crimes, they swarm around her like flesh flies on dung.
A crowded marketplace, a chance meeting, unexpected, unannounced, and perhaps just the thing this one needs to solve a most curious investigation. Mizik Thunderboots, at your service. An abduction, to be precise. No ransom, no demands, no obvious suspects or motives. Just a heartbroken father and the missing young lady. But that is why Mizik was hired, yes? He steps in when all other justice fails. Correct. This one searches for Xynthia, daughter of Ishu. However, Mizik's inquiries have led to nothing but dead ends. And with the young lady's safety on the line, the sooner this investigation is solved, the better. A chance meeting turned fated partnership. Fortuitous for this one, yes? You should speak to Ishu first. See if he has any new information for us. His house is just south of the marketplace. Can't miss it. He is a humble Khajiit of moderate wealth. Seems to keep to himself. No enemies, no debts. No reason why he would be targeted. Yet just a few days ago, his daughter, Xynthia, was taken in the dead of night. Most strange, no? If Mizik did not know better, he would say that it was an intimidation tactic. Perhaps even an act of revenge against Ishu. But who would wish this cruelty against such a kind Khajiit? They outright dismissed Ishu's claim, believing that the young lady has merely run away. A most vexing call, truth be told. From all that Ishu has told this one, Xynthia is a most sweet Khajiit, not one to make her father worry. Mizik Thunderboots is a Khajiit of action. Well, he does not wish to merely boast of his prowess. This one aims to prove such skill. Just as soon as we have a little more to go on, of course. It is a good name, no? Mizik Thunderboots. When scoundrels hear the footsteps of his boots, they will quake in fear. Oh, well, perhaps you are right. Not very subtle, is it? This one will confess, while Mizik is confident in his skills of investigation, he struggles with the more alarming situations his line of work often entails. Such as when large people threaten him with very sharp daggers. Not this investigation, thank the moons. Well, not yet. That is where your expertise comes along, yes? Your bravery. This one's cunning, and a few good leads are all we need to solve this mystery.
Are you here about this one, Cynthia? Has she been found? Yes, of course. Cynthia was taken in the dead of night. This one has received no ransom, yet he fears the worst. She is a very beautiful Jakajit, you see. Ishu believes that the captors may mean to sell her. Cynthia has a long, glossy coat, soft as the richest of silks. Her eyes are bright yellow, like the honeyed moons. Ah, and she always wears a gold necklace. No suspects, no, but someone who may have spotted something? There is a wood elf who tends to stay up well into the night, always singing and dancing, that one. If anyone saw something unusual the night Cynthia was taken, it might be her. The wood elf's name is Mel? Yes, that's it. Mel the Musical, she always calls herself. You can usually find her toward the north end of town near the Sand Gardens. Ishu will pray for your swift success. To help find this one's darling Cynthia, Ishu will answer any question you ask. Mel arrived in Riverhold a few seasons ago. Makes a living begging for gold as she sings and dances. She has woken up Ishu more than once banging that drum of hers. Still, we chat occasionally. She is kind, if not a bit eccentric. Mel does not have a home in the traditional sense, so you will often find her sleeping in the stables and bathing in the public fountains. But who is Ishu to judge, eh? We all have our oddities. Cynthia is a willful child. A tad spoiled, this one admits. Ishu dotes on her. The town guard. They do not understand. They say, oh, perhaps she has wandered off. They say, perhaps she is lost. Such foolishness. How can they be so uncaring? Thank you. Thank you. May bright moons light your path. Ishu will prepare a feast for Cynthia's return, yes? Perhaps some fish. Ah, yes. Fish is her favorite. This one can already hear her contented purrs.
What do you know? A customer. Salutations. Mel the Musical at your service. Are you here for a performance? Ishu, the Khajiit with all the cats? That old coot is sweet as honey jagger, but a bit off if you ask me. Shame about his daughter, though. No one should have to go through that. If you're looking for trouble, Tajiri's your girl. I've seen her with all sorts of indecent folk lately. Always shifty eyes on those ones, I tell you. She tends to spend a lot of time behind the stables lately, if you catch my drift. Very good, then. And hey, if you're looking for some entertainment for your next soiree, make sure to seek me out. You won't regret it. She's a gambler with a lot of friends in a lot of places. And you know, who am I to judge? Business is business after all. But as of late, she just seems to be getting more and more suspicious. In fact, there's been a lot of that in Riverhold. Suspicious activity. People who I ain't ever seen before, going about town at all hours. I mean, I may stay up well past most people's bedtime, but I'm a musician, comes with the territory. And these new folks aren't bards, that's for sure.
Saw you heading this way. Find anything of interest? Oh, the stables, Developed a sudden interest in horsemanship, Walker? Oh, looks to be a coat. A napping badger, eh? Sounds familiar. Ah, yes! The sleeping badger is a rock formation, just south of Riverhold. But this bit about the sweet trip, that Mizik doesn't understand. Mizik will mark it on your map, Walker. Feel free to lead the way. And perhaps this is a good time to mention that this one is not so skilled in violent situations, should trouble find us. But that is where your expertise comes in handy, yes? Needs to stop doing that. Skooma. These vagrants must be smugglers. That necklace must belong to Zinthia. Come, let us speak away from this place. A missing daughter, a hidden note, and now a band of skooma smugglers. This investigation becomes messier with every step we take. This one is unsure, though it is possible Ishu may be hiding something. Still, our priority should be to investigate the gambler who wrote that note. Tajiri was her name, yes? That does ring a bell or two. If Tajiri is a gambler, It is likely we can find her at the local tavern. Mizik will head there at once and see what he can dig up. Meet this one at the Banished Regrets Inn.
You and I need to speak now. I must admit, you and Thunderboots make quite the charming pair. And watching you both play at being investigator, why, it's been sleek entertainment, truly. But now you tread upon sands that are best left undisturbed. Take it as a friendly warning. I hear that you seek Ishu's daughter, yes? I find that very funny. After all, everyone in Riverhold knows that she left town many years ago. Then Ishu has become senile in his old age. I speak truthfully. He had one daughter, and she is gone. Has been gone for many years. Tell this to your partner, and drop your investigation. Now.
One weaves a song, she'll sing it to old. She'll steal 1,000 jewels. She'll even say you love her. So many secrets.
Bright moons look over us today, Walker. Tajiri has just settled down for a round of gambling. While Mizik distracts her, you can sneak into her home and search for another clue. It's just a bit north of the tavern. Forgive this one if he's skeptical. Even if this stranger spoke truly, why then would Ishu hire Mizik? Why would Tajiri have written that note? Why would we find a gold necklace in the smuggler's camp? Then perhaps this stranger simply wishes to confuse us. Throw us off the scent. Besides, we cannot stop now. Not when an innocent young lady may still be at risk. Let us investigate Tajiri before she retires for the night.
Why, hello, sweet meat. Care to play a game with old Tajiri?
Of course. Though this one will admit he is not very skillful.
barely anything to eat. And would it kill you to tidy up our room once in a while? The upstairs is a mess.
Over here. This one hopes you have found something of interest, Walker. Mizik cannot afford to keep Tajiri distracted any longer. And he means that most literally. Blue serpents? 4-pointed paint? If Mizik had to guess, this poem describes drop-off locations for illicit goods. Smugglers often hide them in plain sight. First a sleeping badger, now a blue serpent. Must represent another landmark. That's it. The river is often busy with trade. A perfect place to smuggle goods. Let us search along the river and see if we find any barrels or crates with markings. Hopefully we'll find something that would lead us to Zinthia. Mizik will admit this case is heading in a rather unexpected direction, which is a bit worrisome if he's being honest. It is strange, isn't it? With an operation as intricate as this, it seems odd that these smugglers would target a Khajiit of such limited wealth. This one agrees, but let us first check these smuggler caches. The note said that the goods were leaving town today, yes? That could include Zinthia. Mark seems curious, no? Somerset wine, eh? Not illegal, but incredibly taxed. Mizik has a feeling this bottle didn't find its way to Riverhold through virtuous means. Mizik sees a painted mark ahead. Oh, if that cheese isn't illegal, it should be. What a smell. Oh dear. Mizik is all right. music is all right. Dark moons! Music needs to stop doing that. Could that be the painted mark we seek? A very pretty scarf for smugglers to wear, yes? Perhaps it belongs to Cynthia. Apologies. This one is fine. That mark has 4 points, like... Oh dear. Needs to stop doing that. This barrel smells sweet, but also rotten. What could it be? Dark moons. They're smuggling spoiled moon sugar. Very unsafe for anyone to eat. Speak to Ishu and see what he knows of these smugglers. Then let us meet back at the tavern. We have much to discuss.
Yes, any news of this one, Cynthia? Smuggler camps? Dark moons? Yes, the necklace and scarf belong to Cynthia. Have the smugglers sold her? By Joan and Joe, please say it isn't so. No, of course not. Ishu has only lived a good, honest life. Please, you must find this one's Jakajit. She is so young and innocent and probably terrified without her papa. Whatever will Ishu do if his Cynthia is harmed? May bright moons watch over you. Oh, really? Well, Ishu supposes his family has grown over the years. But how could this one not seek their companionship? Their little faces, their tiny paws. His darlings love him completely, demanding little but affection and belly rubs. But of course, mostly. She and Medwick don't always get along, but Medwick is older and doesn't always like to play or be teased. And just between us, Tak-Tak can be a bit of a Jekuzit sometimes. I think she's jealous.
sugar cane, sweet moon sugar cane. Gifted by the moons as they wax and wane, fill our bowls and fill our souls, sweet moon sugar cane, sweet moon sugar cane. Sweet moon sugar cane.
I warned you, Thunderboots. And so the other thorn in my paw arrives. I told you, did I not? First time was a warning. Now it is a threat. You both leave town. No more investigations. No more sticking your snouts where they don't belong. Collect your things and leave. That again? I told you Issue's daughter left Riverhold years ago. He's just a delusional old Khajiit caught up in a fantasy. And for this you tried to ruin my little operation? Of all the things! Who I am does not matter. What I can do to you, on the other hand, should be of immediate concern. You either leave Riverhold on your own, or you leave in pieces. Your choice.
So it appears that your strange friend is Rideza the Rogue. Good to know. Let us just say that her reputation precedes her. Well, threats to our life aside, it seems that we finally have a perpetrator. Now we just need to follow her. We are investigators, are we not? You must search for a trail. With any luck, she'll lead you straight to Issue's daughter. Meanwhile, Mizik will alert the proper authorities.
On light feet we
Those
fly.
were fresh sugar claws!
Hey, hey,
I didn't even see who ran into me.
Hey, hey, Bandari girls, swing your tail beside.
There! Rideza must have stepped on the jelly from the sugar claws. You must follow her trail while this one alerts the guards.
told you! Now the claws come out! Kill this muskars! Curse your meddling!
It is the rogue. Caught at last.
Did you find my daughter? Where is she?
Here! Your daughter is right here, you old fool!
Rideza! You're the one who stole Cynthia? Oh, this one's poor Jakashit.
Ha! Feeling a little jealous? To go so far as to steal your father's pet.
You think that Ridza the Rogue is finished? It's only a matter of time before I'm back on the streets. And when that happens, you best watch your back. When I came back to Riverhold, I went to see my fool of a father. It's been years since Mother and I left, and I was feeling sentimental, I suppose. Stupidly sentimental. He didn't even recognize me. Of the cat? No, I just wanted to make him suffer. He's always been obsessed with his damn pets. That's why Mother left him, you know. He's so caught up in his little family that he didn't have time for us. For me. Maybe you're right. Just another delinquent with papa problems. Isn't that just the way?
Well, it seems that our investigation has come to a successful close. Though not quite in a way that Mizik was expecting. In hindsight, it makes sense. When you were told that Ishu's daughter left town years ago, Rideza must have been speaking of herself. Still, to have been chasing Ishu's pet this whole time. This is true. Because of our dedication, Riverhold no longer has to deal with these vile smugglers. And let us hope it stays that way, yes? Mizik just needs to collect our reward. Why don't we meet at the Banished Regrets? Drinks are on Mizik! Just as soon as he is paid, of course.
Ishu is so pleased that you were able to find Cynthia. Finally, this one's family can be reunited. What do you mean? Ishu gave you every detail about his precious Cynthia that he could think of. Was there something that made you think his daughter was a Khajiit? Well, no matter. Cynthia is safe and Mizik will have his payment. Rideza has become just as greedy and cruel as her mother. How can Ishu accept such a daughter? Especially one who has already caused him to suffer. Rideza will face the justice of Riverhold's guards, as she deserves. If she wants to make peace, Ishu will make peace. After all, a quiet life for him and his family is all this one asks for. If Rideza wishes to be a part of that, she may be, but it is up to her.
He wrestles giants just for fun and charges into Senchi's den. Kunzari, Kunzari.
A family reunited, a smuggling ring destroyed, and the gratitude of all of Riverhold. Not a bad start to a partnership, yes? Mizik was even able to secure a hefty bonus, thanks to the generosity of Captain Kahiri. Of course, of course. Your share as promised. After all, Mizik would never have been able to solve this investigation without your aid. Pleasure working with you, Walker. Do not be a stranger, yes? A safe town, a happy client, and an investigation expertly solved. And a five-claw partnership, if Mizik does say so himself. What more could this one ask for? After such a successful investigation, Mizik is hopeful that more clients will come forth. We live in turbulent times, Walker. Dragons, tyrants, necromancy. There is no end to Elsweyr's suffering as of late, and yet so much is overlooked. Those in power have priorities, and the petty problems of the common folk, they tend to be on the very bottom of this list. That is why we must look after each other. If Mizik does not offer his help, who will? Of course. But first and foremost, it is Mizik's passion. That is why this one takes the name Thunderboots. If he cannot work in the name of justice, then he will not work at all. This, he swears. Mizik's investigations take him many places, so it is hard to call one town home. But he's enjoyed his time in the Riverhold. He has a comfortable tavern room and a steady supply of clients. Well, a steadier supply of clients. Honestly? Just the one. A bard's flute was stolen while he was drinking in the tavern. He was very certain another musician had stolen it out of jealousy. Quickly, it turned out to be the innkeeper who stole the flute. This bard could not play in tune to save his life, and it was driving away business. So, Mizik suggested that the bard seek another tavern. A happy solution for everyone involved. After such a successful investigation, Mizik is hopeful that more clients will come.
She'll steal 1,000